welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Tamara, and this is Reimagining 50 Plus, where we take a look at doing things that are different, something that we might not have imagined ourselves doing at 50 plus. And today I'm doing something that I have been doing for quite some time, setting up
my magical mermaid bubbling Christmas tree.
What makes this activity especially nice this time of year is that it's something that our whole family gets involved with. It's not that easy to put the tree up, and so it requires the help of my husband and my son. You'll see Bubbles walking around, and I think that's because somebody told her we're going to set up the bubble tree, so she felt that she needed to supervise. Let's get started. About 10 years ago, I saw this tree in a store out by the ocean. And of course it was decorated with all of the seashells and things. But when I saw it bubbling away, it just made my heart sing. And I knew it was one of those things that I would never regret purchasing. And every year for the past 10 years, when we put this tree up, it really makes me smile, even though it's a little bit of work to get it put together. Although this year we do have the assistance of the supervisor, Bubbles, for the bubble tree. Let me know in the comments if you've ever made a purchase and years later it still makes you happy and makes you just excited to see it or use it as when you first purchased it. The other thing I like about this tree is that it really becomes a family event just to get this thing up. The guys usually let me decorate it, and they know I enjoy that because the ornaments I use are from most of my friends' gifts over the years. But in getting it ready, I decided to not take down all of my artwork. In the past, I would do that, and that's because we usually have a themed Christmas party every year. But this year, I guess the theme is COVID, right? So, no themed party. And since we're not doing a themed party, I decided just to hide the artwork. And I did that by hanging a shower curtain that I had got at the end of the season last year. I just took those hooks and looped it over the top of the picture frame, and that made a nice, simple backdrop for this tree. I didn't want something to compete for our attention, and that seemed to work just fine. The left side of the fireplace will be devoted to all things ocean. The right side of the fireplace will be our family tree with all of our traditional and memorial type ornaments and more of the holiday traditional decor over on the other side. But on this side, it's going to look very blue and oceanic. This tree is set up with a water feature that will change colors. And last year it was red because it was a peppermint tree. But this year we'll be using the blue coloration, and it will stay blue as opposed to cycling through all the colors or choosing just one color. Because of the blue and green ornaments, I chose blue. Now all of these ornaments were in a box, or so I thought. And then I discovered that I had a whole other box of ornaments. So at the end of the day, I just couldn't not let someone be on the tree. And so I went ahead and added pretty much all of the ocean ornaments that I had. There were about 75 ornaments on this tree. The other thing that I like to do with this tree is I add an additional string of lights, even though the lights are built in. I do add an addition. There's another one that came from a friend this year. But I add another string just because they're kind of cute. They're shaped like seashells, and I have a string that are shaped like mermaids. So I put those on first, and then I begin to add the other ornaments. Something that's kind of nice to do with any of your Christmas tree is to add a spinner. And this is a little device that gets added to the light socket, and it will make any ornament twirl around in circles, which is especially beautiful if you have a very glittery style ornament, or if like I did, you have an ornament that has movement already in it. I have a couple of little green fishies that my husband got me. They have little tiny springs, and that makes their fins wiggle. So they are the perfect choice for the spinner device. And you'll see those coming up here in just a minute. I'm working away with all of these other ornaments, and when you're doing a tree like this, sometimes you have to go back and move things around just because you realize one thing fits in a spot better than the other. And with this tree, I have a lot of space towards the trunk or towards the glass tube, so I can reach back in there and stick things, and you can still see it even after the other ornaments are placed on the actual branches. I would love to hear about your themed Christmas trees, or perhaps any themed parties that you've had. You can leave me a comment below and let me know about that. So here we go, in all her glory. I want to show you some of the features, like the little blue bubbles. Those are little caps that go on top of the lights, and I only go back in and add those here and there after I have all of the ornaments. And you can see the blue bubbling up. I have a handmade tree skirt that's very ocean themed. And then I have a beautiful mermaid that sometimes she goes on top of the tree. This time she's going down low. Again, trying to stay off the ladder as much as possible this year. So this area over here, I will continue to decorate a bit more. I'm just getting started, but I thought it would be fun to show you the process of putting together the bubble tree. We leave this tree on at night, and it really does light up the whole room. The nighttime tree is the most spectacular. You can really see the ornaments, you can see the lights in the middle bubbling away. And you'll get to see the little spinner fish here in just a moment. Again, a little movement with your tree really adds a little bit of magic. And there's one of the little green fishies wiggling his fins. I think it's important as we get older that we continue to do some of the wonderful things that we have done in the past. However, I think it's important that we modify some of the activities so that we don't wind up falling off a ladder or throwing our back out trying to lug giant boxes of ornaments out of the attic. All of those things that we've been doing in the past may not suit us well, and it may be, it winds up causing us to not enjoy the holidays like we should and like we could if we modified what we were doing. So that's kind of been my theme this year, is to still do some wonderful celebration type activities and put together a home that says, hey, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and still be able to enjoy it, not being too tired and not breaking my back or my arm or anything else by falling off a ladder. So again, as we reimagine 50 plus, it doesn't mean that we have to turn around and not do things, but it might mean that we envision our activities a little differently. I really do enjoy this tree at night. That's why we leave it on in the evening. It really becomes the light for the whole family room, and it certainly is in all its glory when it's lit up and it's bubbling away. And some of the neighbor kids come over and are in awe when they see it. It is pretty magical, I must say. I think even Bubbles would be proud of this tree. She did a pretty good job of supervising the construction and the decorating of the Severance bubble tree. Thanks for joining me. Come back next week when I'll be decorating the rest of the house. Be sure to subscribe and click the like button. So thanks for being here with me today, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.